Hi everyone, Pam at the Paper Outpost here, ready to blow through some more book pages with you. And one thing I have collected a lot through making all these book page episodes is piles of scraps of book pages. So I thought, what can we do to make these part of our journals and use up our scraps? Always need those ideas, right? So we're going to make some tearaway notebooks. And the concept of the tearaway notebook is to give the owner of the journal an opportunity to feel different textures, see different colors, give them little triggers of ideas, and also give them the possibility of tearing a piece off and sticking it somewhere else in their journal where they think they would like to accent something, or they're going to write a little journal note there and they might want to put a little cluster there, like maybe 2 or 3 of these pieces stapled or glued together beside it, something like that. Gives everybody a chance to play, and that's what we want. We want to have fun in our journals, right? Or it could just be for visual interest, nothing more than that. Very simple. And the nice thing about these tearaway notebooks is that you can sew them or you can not sew them, and I'll show you the 2 ways. There's probably 100 ways if I think about it for a minute, but let's go with the 2 ways right now. Keep it simple. So here's my basic prototype. This one just has some music paper, some dictionary paper, some coloring in paper, and more dictionary paper. And what I did was I just stapled it in the back and then glued a piece of fabric on the front. Done. Okay, now this one has some straight edges contrasting with some torn edges and frayed fabric to give it contrast. It has the different shades of paper color and also the different font size contrasted with music and illustration. So that gives you some interest in it. Now let's say, hey, Pam at the Paper Outpost, all my papers look the same. I mean, it's great that you have this giant storehouse, but you know what? I've got this one book or something. I've got all white pages or something like that. Well, you can use ink to ink around the edges of very similarly colored pages to give them distinction or pop from each other. It's a nice, quick, easy way to create borders. It also amplifies the torn edges and things like that. Okay, so here's another one. Did I show you this one already? I can't remember. Sorry, this is the second time I've done this video. And it has different pages, different fonts, and the lengths can vary, which gives it nice eye appeal and interest. You can do the point. This is kind of a point one. This one also has the slide effect of the papers going across the side. And you possibly want the bigger ones in the back and then smaller in the front so they show up. That's helpful. And this one was sewn across the top, which anchors it all well. It's not going to fall apart. Very easy. The material, the little lace piece was sewn on as well. Okay, done. All right, this one is just another example of a sewn one, different torn papers, and this was a fold over one actually. The fold over one is easier, actually, not with sewing. Probably did that on the wrong one. Yeah, probably. Okay, but let's make one, and let's just show you how easy these are. So I got a pile of scraps. Yeah, let me show you. Pile of scraps. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And let's just go to town. You might recognize some of these pages from the other day. Let's use some longer ones and let's do a different technique. Let's fold them over and see what happens. What do we get? Okay, so I've got a straight edge. So instead of even pulling up my rulers, I'm just going to finger tear it because you know what? I got a nice decal edge with finger tearing better than my metal ruler. So kind of remember that option. And we want to do some contrast here. So maybe I'll put a illustration page down. And then maybe I'm going to put, let's see, what do we got? You know what? Okay, I'm breaking my own rule here. The most important thing is don't think about it too much. Just do it. Just crank these puppies out and you'll be surprised. You'll think, oh, I don't like this. But you know what? When you're done, you'll be like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. And that happens all the time. Okay. And remember, if you don't like it, it's only paper. Okay, so we have that. And I folded all of these over. So this one's a little bit thicker than, say, the ones where I didn't fold them over. Not folded? No, that's folded over. Not folded over, not by much. Depends on the thicknesses of the papers that you use. And also when you're selecting your papers to use for these, feel the papers. I mean, feel like which paper feels good in your hand that you would want to touch. I guess some of us are very tactile and we really like that sensation of being able to feel the different papers. So this is going to be a staple one. And the most important with the staple one is if you're going to do them staggered as this, you want to make sure you catch them all. When you sew them, you catch them all, okay? But when you staple, you got to really make sure you catch them all, or else it's not going to work. Okay, and let's see, let's get a pretty, okay, I have what I call the bag of scraps, and you guys probably all have that too. And what I'd like to do, maybe you can do monochrome, you can do like a similar color, you can do different contrasting colors for some pop, and let's find anything here. We got like a million pieces here. All right, how about this? Okay. Sometimes I make a lot of neutral things, and then later when I make my journal, I can add little things. You know how I like to add little things. Liquid pearls or sequins or flatback rhinestones, things like that. Little torn pieces of colored paper that you can add to complement the color of your journal. A lot of times book pages are kind of plain. But this will work with magazine pages. It'll work with anything. Children's books. Phone book pages. I keep wondering why we never see people using phone book pages. Where did and I can't even find a phone book. Where did all the phone books go? I mean, those would be awesome supplies for journal makers. And it's like they vanished. I mean, I know why they vanished, but yeah, they're just gone. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to glue this one on for simplicity's sake. I would say, you know, getting the sewing machine added a new level to crafting for me. I was not a sewer before, but I was just so excited every time I saw somebody sew something. I thought, oh God, I really want to learn how to do that. So when I first started paper crafting, I went down and I got myself a really cheap sewing machine, and I put that thing through the test, and I did everything wrong to it and beat it up. But, you know, I love the results, and I, you know, watched a lot of YouTube videos to learn how to threading the bobbin and getting the bobbin filled. I mean, I was so scared of them at the beginning. I bought pre-filled bobbins because I couldn't figure out how to load the bobbin and all that, like refill it. But I finally figured that out now. Okay, so here's another thing. If you put a little piece of material at the top, which also gives you a nice little contrasting texture. If you want, let's say you don't want these staples showing, just flip your material over and just... There, gone. What staples? I don't see any staples. Do you see any staples? Nope, me neither. And let's say this little guy, you want to maybe like, oh, these pages are kind of similar. How can we make them look different? All right, well, let's try the old inking. You can do this before or after, it doesn't matter. There's my lovely pink brown, which I created the other day. That's what happens when you mix the ink. Okay, it's all right though. It all gives you distinction, border emphasis, and a guaranteed way to get ink all over your hands. Or at least me. I always do that. Okay. So there we go. And let's say we want to just put a little, you know, boobab on that to make it look a little more exciting. And I'm just going to grab any random little boobab. Here's a boobab. Okay. Now we know we never trust the glue on the back here because it always pops off. But just for demonstration purposes, something like that. There you go. It can be as innocent and as simple as that. Now you know that you could bang out a million of these in a very short period of time. This is kind of a craft you could pull out in front of the TV at night, and you know, when you're looking at your pile of stuff and it's growing and growing. That's not my pile of stuff. My pile of stuff is embarrassingly so, my scrap pile is so high I can't even admit to it. Just bang through a bunch of these and all of a sudden your scraps become a valuable resource, and now you've got this mixed media effect going on. You can make them monotone, you can add color to them, add little doodads or anything. Look on your craft room floor. You will be surprised what you dropped, which is a valuable resource, which will go very nicely on your little items. Okay, so here are some examples. So that was just a fun and quick one. Your little tearaway notebooks. Hope you had fun with this. Use up those book pages and use up those scraps of the book pages, and have fun with your paper, everybody. Take care, everyone. Please like, subscribe, share, and check out my Etsy store for any journals that are for sale. I'm working on a new journal now. Also, the winner of the contest the other day was in Finland. So I just sent the package off to Finland. So the portfolio is on the way to Finland right now. And I learned some some new Finnish words interacting with the very nice lady. So that was nice. And that's pretty much it. So look forward to more videos coming. I've got some new ideas coming up too I want to share with you. And we'll just carry on. Take care, everyone. Happy crafting.